back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you guys a whole lot for subscribing to my YouTube channel. So so if you are new to my channel, I appreciate you, seriously. I really appreciate all of my stylish subscribers. You guys really rock. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, this is the first time of you coming across Stylish Naija YouTube channel, I would appreciate, like seriously, I would appreciate if you will hit on the subscribe button. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It actually takes nothing. Just hit on the subscribe button and then hit on the bell on the side to get an update whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing something strictly for beginners. When I say strictly, I mean strictly for beginners. So today I'm going to be showing is how to cut a bustier blouse for beginners. When I say easiest for beginners, this is like the simplest and easiest bustier pattern or method for any beginner. So if you're a beginner and you don't know how to cut a bustier, because lately I've been getting requests from people. They were like, bustier, how to cut a bustier. I was like, I have loads of bustier patterns on my YouTube channel. So in case for those that actually don't know how to navigate, so that's why I'm doing this. This is strictly beginners video. So if you already know how to cut bustier, fine, you can still decide to watch it. No knowledge is actually lost. So let's just get started. So if you want to register for my online classes for this month, you'll see my number scrolling through the screen. For those that want to register, send me a message on WhatsApp. And you can also go to the community here. On my community here, you see my flyers also. So just send me a message on WhatsApp and then I'll tell you what it entails. We actually have 4 classes presently. We have the beginners class, the intermediate class, and then we have the bust and the corset special class, and then I have a ready to wear class for those that want to go into ready to wear class. Anybody can actually register for that class. As once you are not a foundation beginner, you can register. So the dresses are really simple. What the emphasis on this class is how to actually do your sizing and then how to finish the dresses properly. So you can register if you know you want to start sewing and selling. So register for that class. Okay, so before we're just going to start. So I have some basic lines here. So cut a bustier blouse for beginners only. So I have my pattern paper here, so I'm going to explain what I actually have. I have some lines already lined up. So the first line that I have here, this is like my start-up line. This is like a start-up line. And then the first line that I have here, this part is going to serve as the shoulder line. So always make sure you leave this allowance about ½ an inch. And then from this point like this, I have my bust line. That's from the shoulder to my nipple point is actually 10 inches. So this is 10 inches. And then from my shoulder to the under bust is 13 inches. And then from my shoulder to my cut, that's where I want my cut to be, is going to be 18 inches. So we're just going to get started right now. So I'm trying to place my pattern paper in the best and simplest way for you. So this is our bust line, under bust, and then this is our waistline. So I'm not adding chest line to this. So what we are going to do now, we're going to start. The first measurement we're going to take now, we're going to take out the shoulder measurement, and the shoulder for this pattern is actually 16 inches. So I'm going to mark 8 inches here like this, and then I would add 1 inch as my seam allowance. So from this point like this, I'm going to mark 8 inches. So this 8 inches, you can actually use it as your, this 8 inches as your armhole line, seriously. So I'm just going to mark like this, but I'm not inserting my armhole. I'll leave it first. I'm going to come back now. Let's do our dart. So for the dart, I'm going to use 4.5 inches. That's one nipple to another, one nipple to nipple, which is mine is actually 8 inches, so I'll add ½ an inch to it. So I'm going to have 4.5. So everything will now become 9. So you divide it into 2, you have 4.5. So this is 4.5, and then the 4.5, you just mark it down. And then remember shoulder measurement for beginners, since it is a beginners class. Shoulder measurement, you actually divide into 2. So that is why since I'm using 15, which was actually 8, sorry, since I'm using 16 inches, which was 8 inches, you divide 16 into 2, you have 8 inches, and then I added 1 inch as my allowance. So that's that part. And then the dart lines, so that's for, I'm just going to mark it like this. So I'll rule it down with a straight line. It is very simple and very easy. So we are done. So this is going to serve as our dart. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to come to this under bust line. You're just going to mark 1 inch to your right hand side, and then you mark 1 inch to your left hand side. So as you see, it is really simple. And then from this dart line, you're just going to connect to your bust point line like this. So you mark, we actually don't want it to be straight, but you use your straight ruler. We're going to curve it later. And then from this point, this one is going to come like this. And then from this point like this, for the down part, you're going to repeat the 1 inch on this point, and then on this point also. So you can just take this like this now, and then you bring it down like this, and then bring this one down like this. It is simple and easy. So now we're done with this down part. So this part we're going to curve. You can decide not to curve it, it will still come out fine. You can just decide to blend only this part. So for the shoulder line, we're going to come to this shoulder line like this. We're going to repeat what we actually measured here, which was 4.5 inches. So I could have been able to rule it straight in the first place. Just rule a straight line from top to bottom. So from this point, I'm going to come to this right hand side by 1 inch, and then I'll come to left hand side by half an inch. So I want you to note right 1, left half. So from this point like this now, this half inch, I'll connect to this side. So you see, it's just going to come like this, and see it has connected. So you see we have a curve here. So you're just going to blend it up. This is like the easiest pattern for a beginner. So from this one now, on this side, you bring it to this one also. We're just going to do this like this now. You bring it here straight like this. So you're just going to blend this part. Just blend it a little bit. That's like all. So all this part now is going to be our dart, which we are going to eliminate. This part now is our dart. We are going to eliminate all of this part. So the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to mark out our shoulder line. So for the shoulder line, you are going to mark, you remember our 8 plus 8 inches, which is 16 inches, and then our half inches line. So what you are going to do now, you are going to reduce 2 inches of that, you add it back, just add it back into this pattern. That's that, you just add it back. So this part now is now going to be our armhole line. So all this part now, this part is still going to be inside the pattern. Don't cut it off. You can actually decide to mark this first before you curve out your armhole. You can decide to leave this, as in leave this initially, and then mark out this point before you carve out your armhole. So from this point now, we're just going to make a curve. Since this is just our front pattern, you just make your curve like this. So you see our curve now, it's so beautiful and well. So the next thing you're going to do now, you're going to take out your full body measurement. So for the full body measurement, see, here's what you are going to do. You are going to mark out your bust measurement. So for this measurement, the bust measurement that I'm going to use is going to be 36 inches. When you divide 36 into 4, you have 9. And then you remember this place, by the time you cut, you're going to lose about 1/4 of an inch, but I'm just going to approximate it to half an inch. So I'll put back this half an inch into this point, and then I'll add my allowance measurement. For beginners, I advise add as much allowance as you want, at least 3 to 4 inches. So I'm going to add 3 inches allowance. So from this point like this, I'm just going to curve this down like this. I'll curve it. And then for the under bust, so you know we're going to take out these 2 inches. So for the under bust measurement, it's actually 30 inches. You measure 7.5. You divide 30 into 4. You have 7.5. And remember, this is your 2 inches. Make sure you add it to it. You're going to add it this way back into the pattern. And then you remember our 3 inches. You add it back. So from this point like this, you are just going to curve it in like this. And then the next measurement you are going to measure now is your waist measurement. So the waist is actually 34. you divide 34 into 4, you have 8.5. so like for beginners, if you don't know how to do calculation, let me show you. You are going to bring out your tape like this is 34, you fold it like this. This is 1, that's 2, and then this again, you are going to fold like this again. So you see, you have your 8.5. You are just going to bring it like this. You place it. This is your 8.5. And then remember, this is your 2 inches. You bring it back into your pattern. And then you now add our 3 inches allowance that we have been using. You add it. And then from this point like this, you are just going to give it a slant curve like this. So you see how easy this is for you. So this, I have one pattern paper here. Normally you are supposed to, when you are cutting on fabric, you fold it, it's going to be 2. So now we're going to cut out. So from this point now, we can decide to do, let's add our neckline into this pattern. Let's just add it now, so it will be easier for you. So from this point like this neckline, if you want a neckline that is not too deep, you can use 3 inches width for your neckline. So this is 3 inches width. And then the depth, you can decide to use as much as 4 inches depth for the neckline. So you're just going to curve it out nicely like this. So you curve out the neckline nicely, and then from this point you do your shoulder slope, so your shoulder will not hang up. You use 1 inches, and then from this point like this neckline point, you're just going to mark this in. So you see, at the end of the day, this is what we are going to have. So I'm going to cut this out right now. I'll show you how to cut. When you want to cut, let's start from this top part now. Let's cut our shoulder slope, and then cut those parts, and then you cut like this, and then we're going to cut out the neckline, and then we'll cut out our dart. So for the dart, we're going to cut it like this. So just watch how I'm cutting it. So just negotiate this bend a little bit. So you see what we have. So at the end of the day, once you sew this, it's going to be perfect. You're not going to have any problem. This is like the simplest. So this now, we're going to cut it like this. So on this part now, you're going to negotiate this bend slightly like this. So you see how beautiful the bustier is looking. So when you are transferring on your fabric, you are just going to fold your fabric, and then you place this, and then you cut on fold. This is like the easiest method to cut a bustier for beginners. So for the back pattern, the back is really simple and easy. Here's what I'm going to do. For the back pattern, you are just going to mark your zipper allowance. So for a beginner, I advise you can use as much as 2 inches for your zipper allowance, and then you mark it like this. Let's roll it down. Okay, so here is our zipper allowance. So I'm going to take this part like this. I'll place it here. This is the center piece. You just place it like this. So I'm trying to make it flat so you see it. You place it like this, and then I'm going to take this like this. I'll bring them together. So you see this one now, I'm placing it on top. Just make sure it is lapping properly. You understand? Make sure it is lapping properly. So you already have your zipper allowance on this side. You see this one is lapping on top of this. Make sure it laps, and then the lines are on the same spots like that. So let's see. I'm trying to. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now, you are going to shift it so that you get your your slope. Make sure all the lines are the same. So I'm going to mark my slope out from here like this now. So you mark out your slope like this on this point like this now. And then for the back neckline, you can decide to use the same neckline, but if you want to deepen it, you can just, all you have to do, for instance, if you want the back neckline to be deeper, here is just what you are going to do. You are just going to come down, you measure what you want, and then come down here. So let's continue like this now. So we're going to cut out this part now. So for the back armhole, you can increase, just come to this point by 1/2 inch and just mark it like this, and then blend this part in back. And then the bodies, make sure that the body part is the same. So you see how simple it is. So let's cut out right now. So you cut out this part like this. And then so the neckline is going to be deeper than the front. So you see what we have. So for the dart, this is just simple. If you want to cut out the dart, just place this like this now. Make sure you place it properly, and then follow this line here like this, which is going to be your bust line part. So you can decide, for a beginner, you can decide to do your regular waist dart, which you are going to use that line, which is the 4.5 inches line like this, and then you roll it out straight. So for a beginners, I would advise just do the waist dart, and then from this point like this, you're just going to come up by 1 inch on this part. Since this is not a full bodice, it's a half bodice, and then come down also, and then you connect. You remember the 1 inch that we took out from the front, so take out 1 inch also. You know, when we were folding, this one was actually lapped on it, so you have enough allowance on it. So from this point like this, you're just going to do your regular basic bodice dart. So this is just going to be your waist dart. Normally, if for people that are not beginners, here's what you are going to do. You can decide to do it too. I don't want to confuse you, so let's just leave that part. This is beginners for strictly for beginners. So this is going to be our back pattern. So you can decide to cut out this dart like this. If you want to cut it open, you can decide to cut it open like that. So trim it nicely. At the end of the day, you sew it back, or you can decide to leave it like that and just hold it and then you stitch it. So guys, I've now come to the end of this class. So if you find this video helpful, I would appreciate if you would hit on the like button to make me know you appreciate what I did. And if you have not subscribed already, please subscribe to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. So thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you. Have a blessed day.